Hello viewers, you're welcome to Big Talk on Clevenant TV. My name is Franca Idemudia. Yeah, like I always remind you, do remember to sign up on www.clevenant.com. On today's edition, I'll have my co-host, and she's Miss Promise Ebuzeme. Miss Promise, good to have you in the house.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, and together we'll be discussing what it takes to be a businessman in Africa. Today, our guest is going to be, or our guest rather, is Mr. Kenn Ayere. Mr. Kenn Ayere is the CEO, Home Base Africa Cuisine, South Africa. Mr. Kenn, you're welcome to Big Talk on Clevenant TV.
Thank you very much. Thanks for inviting me on your show. Thanks.
Yeah, good to have you on board. So let's start with this. Could you please explain or introduce yourself to the audience?
Well, like you said, I'm Kenn Ayere. I'm Nigerian. I have been in South Africa now for 26 years. I came in as the bureau chief of the news agency of Nigeria, covering Southern and Central Africa. I did that for 4 years and a half, went back to Nigeria, took retirement, having identified opportunities in South Africa. I came back as an investor, and that's what I've been doing since 2002. I was posted here working for the Nigerian government in the news agency of Nigeria in 1996. I came back having done my assignment, came back as an investor in 2002, and I've been here since then.
Yeah, you promised to take over the business angle from there, but I just need to bring this in. Obviously, you're a journalist, right?
Yeah, you know, it's like they say of the army, once a journalist, always a journalist.
Always a
Even
journalist.
though I'm not practicing, anymore,
Right.
but remotely I do. I once had a publication in South Africa here, which I had to suspend to enable me repackage it, and I had too many things on my plate at the time. But it's always been my intention to remain a journalist and do it at some stage, maybe much later on.
Wow. So how was your experience as a journalist in South Africa?
Interesting. It's a beautiful place to work in. Like I said, haven't been here for that long. It is home to me. I'm a South African citizen as well, for the length of time that I've stayed and for the various things that I do here. It's a lovely society. It's a beautiful place. It is home to me.
So I'll hand over to Promi. So let's.
Wonderful. Sir, you spoke about the opportunities you saw in South Africa. Obviously, you mentioned investment, but apart from investments, what were the opportunities you saw in South Africa to do business in?
Look, I was posted here in 1996. And remember, the country came back to democratic rule in 94. I came in when the late Nelson Mandela was president. And it was when the country was opening up, opening up many sectors to people of every, racial inclination. And it also witnessed the coming in of a lot of people from every part of the world, both from Africa, from Asia, from India, from, Europe and America, China, all of those places. So people came in, and when people move, migration comes opportunities. I saw a few areas that I wanted to key in, and I started off doing that in 2002 December, when I got my dealership of Chevron, which operates in South Africa as Caltex Oil. That year, 2002, I became the first Nigerian in the country to get a retail oil company franchise. And that I did for quite a long time, about 17, 18 years from 2002. And in the process, ventured on, into other areas, like the one that you all know, the home-based brand, was part of the things that I ventured into because I saw the need. I saw a gap in the market for something like home base, which essentially does African cuisine in a decent, in a refined, in an upmarket manner. Prior to that, I wanted to acquire a McDonald's franchise. I did train with them for a couple of months, but we didn't carry on with the program. And I thought to deploy the knowledge I'd gained, also with the interest I always had to promote African cuisine, because I am fully convinced that Africa has the best to offer. But we've pulled ourselves back over time because we do not present and package what we have in the most decent of manners. So you find that the Chinese will come up with what they have and plant them everywhere, locate them in decent places. The Portuguese, the French, the English, the Indian, all manners of people from the world who put their things up, locate them in decent places, and then they will attract, of course, people from other racial groups, tourists and all kind of people. But when you find the African one, you're most likely to find them in run-down parts of town where you'll be contending with filth, with very unhygienic conditions, with dirt, with things that you don't want to be associated with. So when I came in '96, I saw there was none. There was no such place. And it stayed in my mind until I completed my assignment, wanted to do McDonald's and didn't carry through with it. And I said, no, this opportunity was always there. Let me try it out. So I established the first home-based outlet in 2003 in a place called the Bright Water Commons, which used to be called Waterfront, Randburg Waterfront. So we're there, and we started the home-based brand from there. 2003, 2006, I opened another branch in a place in Sandton, which is the richest square mile in Africa, they call it, in a place called the Village Walk. In 2009, I opened a branch in Pretoria. 2012, I opened a branch in Parkmore. And 2018, I did a branch in Sandton City, which is the foremost shopping center in the country. And our mission is simple: to place the African brand on the global map. And I'm glad that we have, since we established Homebase 2003, we have inspired a lot of other people to open across the country. Because a lot of people came and saw that it was possible. It was possible to do the African thing properly. You do not have to, because it is African, serve food in dirty plates in run-down parts of town. If people could serve you pasta, they could serve you, bread and things, and pat them and call them sandwiches and all kind of things, but we have very beautiful, nutritious meals, and we are not presenting them nicely. So Homebase sought to correct that, and we've been doing that since 2003, and we're still doing it, and it's going good.
Yes, you've obviously done well for yourself as a businessman, not just as a journalist now, but also as a businessman. So can you share your experience with us?
Going from journalism to being in business, you mean?
Yeah.
It's not been an easy transition, on the one part, you worked within a structured environment where your assignment is very clear. You know, this is your beat, this is what you do, this is who you report to, this is how you report, this is, you know, and then somebody has to check what time you came into the office, what time you left, you know, how you wrote your stories, which was good. I mean, I remain forever grateful to the News Agency of Nigeria, the only place I worked ever before going into business. It was good. But at a point in my life, I felt it was time to move on and do other things. I felt the need. I've always had that thing in me to work for myself. I've always had that thing in me to do a lot of things. At the same time, I have a very busy mind. And since quitting journalism in 2001 and going into the private sector in 2002, it's been a transition, a journey I don't ever regret because it's something I always wished for, looked forward to, worked towards, and actually actualized. It wasn't easy. Let nobody lie to anybody. You know, from a system where come what may, rain, shine, winter, summer, your salary was sure to come at the end of the month. You're now in a situation where people look up to you for their own salaries. Whether you have made profits or not, people look up to you for direction. Not like you being part of a system that's been structured and running over many years. I had to design my own structures. I had to have people in the structures. I have to create the dream. I had to give life to the dream. Train people to fall within the structures and train people to run with what one created. Obviously, it wasn't easy, but with time, we also made mistakes in the process. With time, people were trained, and I think I have a crop of people now who know the business better than I do, and we all just work together and run the show.
It's certainly a good one, and it's going to be a good mentor to others as well.
Thank you.
Please come here.
That's beautiful. Before we go on break, let's quickly just ask this question: how do you deal with the bureaucracy in business, like the good government laws? Because I know in South Africa there's so many laws and so many rules that govern the business. So how do you deal with all these government laws?
Yes, I gave a talk on Saturday on learning to break limitations to a group of brothers and sisters, entrepreneurs and people intending to become entrepreneurs. And one of the things I said there was that this is a very structured system. It's a system where things are organized, which is why when I hear people say, oh, they're xenophobic and they're this and they're all of that, I struggle to accept everything that's been said. Having been in the system doing business since 2002, this is a system where if you go by the rules, if you keep the rules, nobody bothers you. That I can tell you. The law expects you to be legally resident in the country. What that means is if you come into a system like this, go by the rules and make yourself a legal resident of the Republic, such that if anybody says, where are your papers? Where is your ID? You show him, this is it. You begin to have difficulties when, number one, you are illegal in a system. I don't know how it operates where you are, but for the number of years that I've stayed in this country, that is how it works. So you have to register a company, for for instance. Go and register the company. There are institutions for that. You have to open a bank account. Open a bank account. You need insurance for your businesses, for your things. Like if you're in the restaurant business, for instance, the law requires you to have a license to sell alcohol. For heaven's sake, before you start selling alcohol, go and get the license. For where you make food, the law requires you to have a certificate of acceptability. The inspectors will come and check that you have met the set hygienic condition, health condition, so that because you're cooking for the public, and they expect that where you cook should be clean. Basic hygienic conditions should be met. It should be running water, the walls, the floor, how you refrigerate your food, how your chefs, dress up, cover their hair, make sure hairs don't go into food, how you preserve those kind of things, package and all. So if you keep to the rules, you are not likely to have any problems. I know Nigerians in this economy who have invested in almost every sector of the economy. Call it real estate, aviation, shipping, transport, forms of transportation, IT, many Nigerian lecturers, professors, just name it. Every sector, there are Nigerians there. So what you do to answer your question, which is what I've been doing, is play by the books, keep to the rules. When inspectors come around, when people ask you questions, who are you? Tell them who you are. I'm Kenn Ayere. What are your papers? Here is it. When you drive on the road, the law expects you to have a driver's license, a valid driver's license. Most times, people take chances. They say it's difficult to get, it's difficult, but people are getting it. So when a traffic cop stops you on the way and they say, where's your license? Instead of you to be bringing out money to give him so he can let you go, rather give him your license. If you do that, they won't bother you. All right? If they now say, where is your license? And you start saying, oh, my brother, please help me. Help you for what? Because what is on the mind of a traffic officer is that you are a potential danger on the road. If you're not licensed to drive, chances are that you will not only kill yourself, you will kill other people.
Right.
So when they come on you and say, no, we're going to have you arrested for driving without a license, or driving an unlicensed vehicle, or driving a vehicle with expired, vehicle license, most people cry foul. The system says when you come into the country, legalize your stay. Do not become an illegal person. And there are so many channels, so many opportunities for people to regularize their stays. But we have seen, many people who do not pay any regard to that. People will make money, buy big, nice cars, buy big, nice homes, send money home to do all the things. You know how it is. But forget to attend to the things that are most important. So for those who have played by the books, those who have kept to the rules, who have obeyed the laws of the land, it will be difficult for somebody to say the people are difficult to deal with. So if you do all of that, which is the experience I've had since being in business in this country since 2002, that's been my experience. The inspectors will come. They come into your place and they ask you, where's your liquor license? This is it. The law says you should get one before you start selling liquor. The law says 1 month before the expiration of that liquor, renew it, of that license, renew it. And it's not a big deal. Just walk into the office, they tell you how much to pay, you pay, and you get it renewed. So when somebody now starts selling out, it's quite unlike Nigeria where, you just buy your cartons of beer and whatever, and you start selling. And when somebody comes to ask you, worst case, you give the person one bottle of beer and say, have that. They will play by the books here. They will ask you, where is it? So if they now come to you and you don't have it, and they have to shut you down because you don't have a license to sell liquor, whereas you are selling liquor, will it be fair to say they're xenophobic?
Thank you very much, Mr. Kenn. Let's quickly just go for a break. Viewers, please do not forget to stay tuned. This is CleverNet TV, and please do not forget to sign up. Let's just go for a break. Thank you.
Let's sell on your behalf. If your item sells on our web shop, you pay a 10% commission plus the transaction fees, and you get the rest. Register now at www.shop.clevenard.com. Start uploading your product and services. We can really sell it on your behalf so you can carry on working on the things important to you. Are you looking to sell any type of product or service and you want to avoid the hassle involved? Selling can be an arduous and time-consuming process. At Clevenard Super Shop, we will be happy to take over the workload of promoting or selling your products or services. All you need to do is to register at www.shop.clevenard.com, enter your shop or vendor information, and then start uploading your product and services. We will do the selling. Now, be ready to get more sales and awareness. Start making more money from your business with Clevenard Super Shop by partnering with us today.
All right, audience, you're welcome back to Big Talk on CleverNet TV. We are still with Mr. Ayere, the CEO of Home Base Africa Cuisine in South Africa. Now, to the big question, Sal, how difficult or how easy it is to do a profitable business or to run a profitable business in Africa?
Well, I'll be talking based on my experience in. I mean, your question did not now specify South Africa. You said in Africa.
No. We are not saying South Africa now. As an African, how is he doing business as an African?
As an African,
in South Africa now.
And my response will be the same: play by the books. Play by the books. Look, like I said when we started, there are opportunities here. You're right. Make yourself legal first. Because in South Africa, everywhere you go, anywhere you go, the first thing anybody will ask you, be it a bank, you want to be it insurance, even when you have a problem, you go to the police station and you want to lay a charge, the first thing they will ask you is, where's your ID? So, talking about the ease of doing business, the ease will start when you make yourself legal in the country. All right? Once you have that in your pocket, you can knock on doors. You can then begin to give life to some of the dreams you've had, some of the opportunities you have identified, and then have your capital in place. That's important. Have your capital in place because, look, as a foreigner also in a country like this, the banks, remember, the banks trade with people's money. So they need to know you well. You need to have a good history with them. Or, they'll see how you conduct yourself, how you conduct your account before they can start giving you money. So in most cases, it's better if you have your own. So you can start with what you have, build a relationship with a bank, and then the bank can then begin to assist you with funds to invest in whatever area you want to invest in. Knowing what you want to invest in is another area.
Yeah.
So, I mean, sometimes you find that, and I see a lot of this with our people, you land in a country that is not yours with no plan whatsoever. This feeling back home that you pick money on the streets and there's a lot of money because when people come from outside the country, because our naira lost some value. So if you have $1, now you have over 700 naira. If you have 1 rand, you have over 40 naira and things like that. But the truth is that it's tougher out here than it is at home. A lot of people don't understand that part. It's just that the infrastructure, the systems work. Until recently, when we started experiencing power issues, which I believe they are dealing with. You never bothered about such things. It's a plug and play system in business. You get a space, you don't have to go and start drilling your own borehole, buying generators and things like that. I mean, I started operating my petrol business in 2002. I didn't have to buy a generator because I didn't need it. Only recently now I bought generator in one of my branches in home base. The other ones are in malls. And when power goes, their own system will kick in. So, talking about the ease of doing business, I mean, know what you want to do, know what you can afford to do is important. Because again, if you have just come, you don't have a credit history with financial institutions, chances are that they will not give you money, not because they are xenophobic, but because they don't know you. You don't have a history with them. So if you come with your own money, you are legal in the country, then you are able to rent a place and start doing business. So those are the two key areas I would like to, it's quite a whole lot of things one will consider, but the start point for me is always be legal in the country. Very important. Then nobody can push you around. The justice system works. The system, if anyone harasses you, you can harass the person back. You can fight back. But you can only fight back if you are legal. So sometimes you might be very qualified, either for a position, if you are the one looking for a job, or as a businessman, even looking for a contract. When it gets to that point where they say, can we see your papers? Because they need to draw up contracts. They need to draw up agreements. They need to draw up, things that will legalize your relationship with them. And then they say, can we see your ID? And you start scratching the back of your head that you almost got it. It was one witch from your mother's village that blocked it. They should be looking at you and saying, this one is not serious.
Feeling guilty already. Is that right?
Yeah, so those are the
Mr.
things I would look at. It's look like everywhere. I do some business in Nigeria. I like to play by the books. First look at the business itself and say, what is the legislation concerning this business? What does the law say? What can I do? What can I not do? What do I need to get in? I see that sometimes people get in first. And then when they start running into all manners of brick walls, then they start asking, what should I do? But I prefer to do it the other way around. Find out what the law says about this particular business. What sort of investment will I need? Can I afford it? If I don't have the cash, can I access cash from where? Do a business plan. Understand the market. Sometimes you find that, and I've seen a lot of those, even with our people. People rush into something and they rush out again because they haven't done their homework well. So when you come in, settle down, take your time, investigate first, check properly. So that when you start doing what you want to do, you already have like a set of rules, guidelines that you follow. So I don't think it's rocket science. I don't see anything too difficult in doing business anywhere, whether in South Africa or in Nigeria or any part of the country, of the continent. Just know what you're doing, know what the law says, and play by the books.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you.
The topic is about what it takes to be a businessman in Africa. And I
Yeah.
know as a businessman, you work with so many suppliers and you might have partners. So how do you build a relationship with these people, with your partners and your suppliers?
Same rule applies everywhere. The same kind of relationship you build with even your staff. It's a relationship of trust. That's very important. A lot of our people have gone off the mark because they think people will understand. You know, at home, it has become almost acceptable to be dishonest. You are the smart man, you are the intelligent man if you can cheat the other man, if you can lie properly, if you can undo the other person. What it does to many people is that you can cheat somebody maybe once. Next time they don't want to see you anymore. There are suppliers here. Look, we've been dealing with suppliers since 2002 when I set up my garage, 2003 when I set up home base. Some of them will still keep. It gets to a point where they don't even want a deposit from you because they know that you will pay. Okay? Then there will be those who maybe you misconducted yourself somewhere along the line. And they will now say, okay, fine. Pay us first when the money shows up in our account, or somebody else had dealt with them, especially somebody from your stock. Don't forget, in the eyes of many of these people, especially if you are in a foreign land, like some of us are here. Well, not foreign anymore. The action of just one of your brothers can rub off on everybody. Somebody will say, yeah, I supplied something to a Nigerian before, and he ran away with my money and the stock. So if down the line, you, a genuine businessman or woman, want to relate with this person, and they hear that you are Nigerian, they may not even want to deal with you at all. If they have to deal with you because, of course, they need your business and want your money, then they will tell you to go and pay into the account first. When your money reflects in our account, we will supply you. So dealing with suppliers is the same thing as dealing with staff. It's the same thing as dealing with clients. The same thing as dealing with your target audience, with the people you do business with. So a lot of people don't understand. But when you run a business, especially you, the owner, you become the brand ambassador of that business. So how you conduct yourself with people, how you relate with people, how you manage yourself and your relationship with people begin to have serious consequence on your business.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much, sir. You just made mention of how you relate with people. So that will bring me to the next question, which has to do with customer relation or customer relationship with your clients. How important do you think customer relations is in running a successful business?
You must understand something, like I always say to even my staff, because sometimes when they see you being their employer, they want to impress. They want to give you the best of service, give you the best of attention. I say to my staff, listen here, I've invested in this business and you people run it. As far as I'm concerned, the most important person around is not me, it's the client. Because chances are that when I eat, unless maybe I have guests, visitors, and people that I'm hosting that I will pay, most times I will just eat. And the person who brings money into the business is the client. So the client is king. And I've trained my staff from the managers down to the cleaner to know the important position the customer plays in the business, to know how important the customer is. Those are the people who bring money. One satisfied client will invite other clients. One dissatisfied client will tell everybody how bad your place is. So maintaining very cordial relationship with clients is something I don't play with at all in my business. I'll go out of my way to make an unhappy client happy.
It's all right. Thank you so much, sir. We are running off shortly, but we just want you to tell us the next level for home-based African cuisine.
Well,
I know you will love that.
Of the Almighty, it's just that I have my hands in in many things, but my dream has always been to have home base everywhere, especially in areas where African food has not been fully appreciated the way it ought to be appreciated. We have the best. We have, you cannot compare what we have to what we get coming from the other parts of the world. It's just that sometimes our packaging are not the best of things. And then, with us as well, some of our people like to pose. So you see people in doing that thing we call a fizzy and want to be seen in some kind of places. And I always say to our people, you can do it. You can do it exactly the way the others have done it. So the same way people get themselves ready to say, no, we're going to. Yeah, what do you like? I like Italian. I like Portuguese. I like Greek. People should also proudly say, let's go African. And we've been seeing a lot of that. So our next level is to see that African food, African cuisine takes its pride of place among the other cuisines of the world.
It's all right. Thank you so much, Mr. Ayere, for being our guest this evening. And we do hope you grace us with your presence one of these days once again.
Just call me.
Right. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you so much. Have a pleasant evening.
It's all right, you, sir. All right. Thank you so much, viewers, for staying in with us on the Big Talk on Cleveland TV. Till next week, or when we come your way with another topic of discourse on this program. I remain Frank Anidemundia and saying have a blessed day and Miss Promise.
Bye. Thank you so much for joining the show. I'm sure a lot of people will enjoy this show and enjoy it because you spoke so much about how beautiful our culture is as African, and we must showcase African cuisine more often. Thank you so much, Sam. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. Bye.